Do you like to travel? I don't mean your commute to work or trips to the grocery store, those are necessities. I mean those adventurous trips to far-off places. So I do. But I can understand why sometimes some people don't. It's work. There's the planning, the expense, the physicality of it. If your home life is already stressful and tiring, a trip will only make things worse. In response to life's growing complexities, only 10 years ago, the Merriam-Webster's dictionary had to add the word staycation, the opposite of travel. Sometimes all we can afford or bear to do in our free time is stay home. But I consider myself quite lucky to have a job that provides me with both the time and treasure to roam. And for my love of leaving, I blame my parents. I think I was born under a wandering star. At least it was the same summer that movie musical came out, Lee Marvin. The summer after I was born, my father, the major, was away on National Guard training the whole summer. While my mom worked nights as a nurse, she'd write him these long, newsy letters about what was going on the domestic home front. And they starred my siblings. Lori mowed the front yard all by herself, and Lisa picked up all the fruit that fell from the trees in the backyard, and together the three of them painted the white picket fence, literally. I, however, in her letters, was usually dressed as your daughter, as in, your daughter has been wandering around showing strangers her bell bun. And your daughter dragged the slacks I just ironed around the house looking for you. When my name finally appears, it's Teri has found the gates to the yard and knows where they lead. She and the dogs have been running helter-skelter all summer. What I want to know is, where were my big sisters and mom? Who was watching over me? The trips that we took in my childhood, I really didn't appreciate. They were usually car trips, and every square inch was allotted with military precision to one of the members of the family. They were also exotic places like Wisconsin. I usually filled all my space with books because that's another favorite form of escape. But those wanders to places that were only mildly exciting, they didn't satisfy my wanderlust. I figure no matter how sweet your home sweet home is, some of us still have a love for leaving. Think of all the literary characters who wouldn't be very exciting without their great journeys. Dorothy and a tornado, Alice in a rabbit hole, Gulliver without his shipwreck. Even though I never ran away from home as a little kid, I was always plotting my escape. So a few months ago, I came across this really catchy song by Alice Merton. In it, she sings, "I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but I have memories and travel like gypsies in the night." And I realized for most of my life I was making memories and traveling a bit like a gypsy. From college, I got work up here, and my mother unfortunately passed away the same year I moved to Pasadena City College back in 2010. And over the next 15 years at PCC, I married and divorced twice, and teaching started to feel like I was stuck in a rut. So when my father also passed away, I decided it was time to really escape. I moved to Wisconsin. So the problem with trying to run away from your problems is that no matter where you go, there you are. For some reason, I thought in a different town, it would all be better. With a different job, I would be more fulfilled. Or with a brand new lover, my life would be complete. So when my fiance was offered the family business back in the town of Tomahawk, I said, sure. I took a leave of absence. I packed up my condo and I drove with him across country to drop him off and start nesting. I came back and I finished my spring semester classes, and then I too drove across the country because I was picturing that picket fence around a little yard and starting a family of my own. Unfortunately, again, I ask you, where were my siblings or my friends to slap some sense into me? The summer that I arrived was the most hot and humid experience of my life. I was worried about snow. Unfortunately, before that first snow came, we had broken off our engagement, and with that went my chances of starting a family. So in the coldest winter of my life, I was completely alone. But fortunately, I was able to find another little job and make a whole lot of friends, and I lucked in to living in a little cottage in the woods where I could nurse my soul's broken wings. So Langston Hughes also said it better than I ever could. He said, when peoples care for you and cry for you, they can straighten out your soul. And I think maybe my soul had been suffering from a little bit of ADHD. I needed to settle down, so I stayed, and I made the best of that year. But fortunately, I came back. And I realize now that a house can only protect your body from the outside. It's your soul that protects you from inside. And places like Troop or Tomahawk, Wisconsin can sometimes be that place that nurtures our souls. So they let us build a strong, supportive community and give us safety, kind of like a birdhouse for your soul. I really thank the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, for always cushioning my fall from that nest I keep throwing myself out of. Now that I'm here, I think it's time for us to start noticing the souls peeking out of everyone else's little tiny birdhouses. Some are kind of hyperactive little hummingbirds. There's Frances, our nightingale, and Tara, of course, is the bluebird of friendliness. But some are a bit like ostriches with their heads stuck in the sand. And yes, sometimes it feels like we are all in a cuckoo bird's nest. But I'm happy to have found all of you feathered friends here, my soul sisters and brothers, where we've come to roost. If you will, find your blue hymnal and switch to 1064. Our closing song is Blue Boat Home.